Okay, I'm assuming everyone can view the slides. All right,
Yep.
cool. Well, again, greetings from the University of Findlay. And again, we're located kind of west central Ohio here in the United States. So I guess, first of all, I'm thrilled to be able to spend some time with you sharing this research study. And I would like to begin by acknowledging some of the, or two of the contributing authors of the manuscript that we prepared, and that is Dr. Matthew Moser. And yes, we are related. He's actually my son, and we've actually co-published several times and presented, and that's just a huge thrill for a father to be able to do that with his son. And then Dr. Sheri Caldwell, who has extensive publishing research experience, worked in higher ed, but is currently working in the private sector. So I'd just like to kind of begin by sharing a little backstory of how this all came about. My background and my role here at the university, I'm director of our human resource development program, and that includes leadership development, training and developing individuals in whatever role they may find themselves in. My research background has, again, been in leadership development, leadership effectiveness, executive coaching, emotional intelligence. And in full disclosure, this is quite a bit of a different project than what I've done in the past. In the past, my research has been pretty much quantitative in nature. And so this was a little bit outside of my wheelhouse. And the reason why myself and the two contributing authors decided to pursue this particular research study was, first of all, based on our mutual interest in, again, leadership effectiveness and those factors that contribute to leadership effectiveness. But also, and this is personally, I've always had a passion for assisting or serving our veterans. And so I've always been involved in, veterans foundations and those services that support our veterans. So actually, this kind of married my two interests of leadership development and, again, those individuals who have served in the armed forces. So this particular study, again, it actually even started out a little different than most of my past research activities. In the past, I've always, had this well thought out plan, came up with something I was going to do and went through this linear process of how I was going to accomplish that. This study actually started out with me watching Medal of Honor recipient receive that award by our president, and them recounting the events that took place that resulted in this individual receiving, again, their Medal of Honor. And I was sitting on the couch and I thought, wow, even though we don't, probably will never experience situations where we have to make life and death choices, where we're at risk of possibly losing our own life or our followers' lives, we are often placed in situations, I feel, where there is a degree of risk that we encounter. And that could be, risk of our reputation, risk of profitability if we're working in the private sector, so we all assume these risks. And I thought, I wonder if some of the attributes, qualities, mindsets, or feelings of Medal of Honor recipients could apply to any of us in our respective roles, whether that be leadership or other roles that we may occupy. So that was kind of the impetus of this research study. So again, I'm just going to briefly go through. I know there's only a couple of us here, so I'm just going to provide you with a snapshot, and you can read the manuscript later or what have you. But basically, the purpose of the study was to investigate the mindset of Medal of Honor recipients, and to hopefully draw lessons from what they shared in terms of their thoughts, their beliefs, and their mindsets, and kind of those factors that contributed to them performing acts of bravery and valor, to see if that might apply to any of us in our respective roles. So basically what we did, we sent letters out to, at the time we sent the letters out, there were 70 surviving Medal of Honor recipients here in the United States. And we asked them, well, first of all, we thanked them for their service, but then we asked them to recount the event that took place that resulted in them being awarded the Medal of Honor, and also to share their thoughts and feelings that contributed to their acts of bravery. So why did they do what they did? And of the 70 letters that were sent out, 17 recipients responded, and they shared their stories, and again, the reasons why they took the actions that they did. And I wish all of you had an opportunity to read some of these letters. They're just pretty compelling. And to be honest with you, are stories that I will always remember. So based on the results, what we did, we went through, read the letters, and basically conducted a thematic analysis of those letters. So identified common themes that were shared in those 17 letters, and we categorized or coded them, and we actually came up with 6 common themes or mindsets as a result of doing or conducting this analysis of the letters. And so these 6 themes was clear mission and purpose, training, planning, and preparation, self-sacrifice, humility, trust and respect for others, courage to do the right thing, and trust and faith in God. Now that last one, I will just say that could be expanded. Even though they referenced God, this could be a higher power or an entity beyond themselves. So again, I guess I'd like to start out by saying that could be broadened in terms of how we might perceive that final mindset. So what I'm going to do is really just share what this clear mission and purpose and statement, or these 6 themes or mindsets are. I'm not going to go through how we looked at current leadership literature and aligned these mindsets to what exists in current leadership literature, and kind of the theoretical basis for some of these themes or mindsets. Those are presented in the manuscript that we've prepared as part of this study, however. All right, so clear mission and purpose. The recipients conveyed unwavering commitment to achieving their mission that were reflected in statements such as, simply put, my thoughts were to accomplish our mission. My thoughts that day were focused on accomplishing the mission and caring for my soldiers. And I've shared this with companies and organizations in the private sector when I've asked to come in and kind of present these findings. And the question I always ask them, so if you're provided with an initiative or asked to complete an initiative or work on a team, is there a clear mission and purpose? Is there a clear charge? If not, this is one thing that probably one should solidify before moving forward. And again, I'm not going to go through, but again, we can look at current leadership literature out there and see where this clarity of mission and purpose does impact the likelihood that someone's going to be successful in whatever endeavor they're charged with pursuing. The second theme or mindset was training, planning, and preparation. And so in the letters, often the recipients would go back to the training that they received and how they attribute their success to being prepared for that day or for that experience that they were faced with. So some of the The things that were communicated in those letters, the quality of the training prevailed. Every move I made and order I gave were instinctive based on past training experience. I love this third statement. Training experience are extremely important. Decisions are made instantly on the battlefield as the battlefield is in utter chaos, confusing, and rapidly changing. It's not the time to learn your job. Indecisiveness of a commander brings defeat. And again, this training, planning, preparation, the questions that we can all ask ourselves, again, if we're charged with working on a project or initiative, or if we're delegating or assigning a project to somebody else, is, have I provided that individual or those individuals with the knowledge, skills, tools, and training in order for them to be successful? Or if I'm called to do something, do I have the knowledge, skills, and training in order to be successful? If not, I need to go to that individual that assigned that project or initiative and have a conversation with them in terms of what I need in order to move forward or proceed. The third, again, I'm just going to go through this: self-sacrifice, humility. This is one that permeated throughout all the letters, and there was not one recipient who said, because of me, I was able to accomplish this. They all attributed their success to those individuals who were with them and the support that they received from their fellow soldiers. So again, some of the statements, I was just doing what I had to do to try to get to the lost platoon. By the way, there was a movie about the lost platoon, so that recipient actually sent us their letter. Just proud to be serving at the time in that moment with a great bunch of Americans. A Medal of Honor is as much for me as for my men, or as much for my men as it is for me. And then this last one, I wear my Medal of Honor in respect for the men and women who served the Vietnam War. 58,000 have their names included on the Vietnam Wall in Washington, D.C. So again, a question that I think we could all ask ourselves is, when we're charged with doing something, am I doing this to bring attention or to elevate me, or am I doing it for the good of others, my students, my colleagues, or what have you? So these individuals attribute their actions towards their followers and what have you. Trust and respect for others. Again, throughout the letters, all of them conveyed the trust and respect that they had for those individuals who were also on the battlefield. I owe my success on the battlefield to some outstanding, profound soldiers who possess the will and strength, character to advance in the face of strong enemy defenses. And then this last one, clearly the most compelling value is the respect soldiers have for their fellow soldiers. They would do anything to prevent them from being killed or wounded. And again, trust and respect for others. Again, this is leadership quality that also, based on current leadership literature, contributes to one's leadership effectiveness or success. Encouraged to do the right thing. Probably, and I'm making an assumption, that many of the individuals writing these letters were probably not academic types, but some of them wrote, I felt, just very profound messages that resonated as much or more with me than some of the things that I've learned in my graduate and doctoral courses and what have you. And this is one example of that. So again, courage to do the right thing. Courage is a conscious decision made moment by moment to do the right thing. So again, it's not courage to do the easy thing, it's courage to do the right thing. And this statement here just really resonated with me. And that is, every day has its test, and every time we fail to do what is right, we weaken our character and the character of this great country. So again, Again, a question that I think we could all ask ourselves is, am I doing this because it's the right thing, or am I doing this because it's the easiest thing, or what have you? So I've always shared with my children, if you do what's right, uh, you'll never be wrong. You may be attacked for it. People may not like it, but again, if you always do what's right, you'll never be wrong. And then again, this is where, again, this could be expanded, but again, individuals who responded, the recipients, when they felt that all was lost and things were out of their control, then they reached out beyond themselves. And again, many of them expressed their faith, and that their faith gave them the assurance that again, even though it's out of their hands, everything would be okay. And again, that doesn't mean surviving. That just means everything would be okay with them. So again, where I fell, God took over and saved us. And again, I think we can expand this out to, if we feel all is lost, that again, whether it's a higher power or whoever that may be, is there to guide us, to help us, and to protect us. So those are the 6 themes. And again, I'm not going to go through in terms of how that's aligned. And again, I've looked at these 6 themes, and I've contemplated and thought about these. And I don't know if either of you are also familiar with like the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, but a lot of these themes are embedded in other models of leadership effectiveness. So again, for me, it just kind of demonstrates that these individuals, although they may not have the theoretical basis for why they did what they did, that they modeled those qualities that I feel often contribute to effective leadership. So, and I would be remiss if I just didn't, again, just acknowledge the Medal of Honor recipients, and all those who have served in the armed forces. So again, outside of my wheelhouse, different from any other type of scholarly activity that I've conducted or published in the past, but it was good for me because I learned some things, and hopefully I can share what I've learned with others in order to help them enhance their effectiveness in their respective roles. So I'm going to end it there, and I guess I can give up my share. There we go.